सो वेलकम अगेन इन फिजिक्स विद इन यू से ये पूछूं कि पाइथन साइंटिफिक कंप्यूटिंग लैंग्वेज है कि नहीं है, आपका आंसर क्या हो? तो हमारा जो वीडियो है इस बार ये इस बात पे है कि जो साइंटिफिक कंप्यूटिंग लैंग्वेज है उसको हम समझते कैसे, क्या क्या फीचर होने चाहिए, उसको देखते हैं जरा। तो हमारा जो क्वेश्चन जैसे मैंने बताया कि हाउ डू यू क्लासिफाई द पाइथन एज अ साइंटिफिक लैंग्वेज, कोशिश करते हैं। और यहाँ पे टिपिकल मेरा फोकस पाइथन पे नहीं है, पाइथन के आसपास बहुत सारी लैंग्वेजेस और भी हैं जो डेवलप कर रही हैं, उससे पहले भी थी। सबको हम इंटीग्रेटिव वे में लेके चल रहे हैं कि हम कैसे किसी लैंग्वेज को कहेंगे कि वो साइंटिफिक है कि नहीं। तो हमारे पास बहुत सारी प्रोग्रामिंग लैंग्वेजेस हैं, आपको पता ही है, ढेर है उन सब के बारे में। पाइथन है, सी शार्प है, मैटलैब है, फोर्टन है, एसक्यूएल है, आपका एचटीएमएल है, जावा है, जावास्क्रिप्ट है, लेटेक्स है, आर है, रस्ट है, जूलिया है। बहुत सारे प्रोग्रामिंग लैंग्वेज है और भी बहुत सारी। उन सबको कैसे हम क्लासिफाई करें, तो पहले आपको क्लासिफिकेशन उसकी समझनी पड़ेगी। मैंने एप्लीकेशन के हिसाब से तो क्लासिफाई करने की कोशिश, तो ये क्लासिफाई होते हैं 5 पार्ट्स में। और 5 पार्ट्स में जो सबसे पहले पार्ट आता है जिसके बारे में हमें कहना चाहिए वो जनरल पर्पस। नेचुरल है ना, पहले आप जनरल पर्पस की तरफ ही जाओगे। तो टिपिकल में आप यूज करना चाहोगे तो वेब डेवलपमेंट का यूज है, एआई डाटा साइंस में यूज है। कुछ पर्टिकुलर होते हैं जो सिर्फ एक दो एप्लीकेशंस के लिए ही बने होते हैं, रादर मैं कहूँ तो एक पर्टिकुलर टाइप की चीजों के लिए ही बने होते हैं, तो उन्हें हम कहते हैं डोमेन स्पेसिफिक। और फिर हमारा साइंटिफिक तो है ही। तो ये हमारे पास 5 तरह के डोमेन हमने एप्लीकेशन वाइज डिवाइड कर ली, क्लासिफाई कर लिया। अब जब आपने उसको क्लासिफाई कर लिया है तो मैंने आपको इसकी टेबल बना के, साइंटिफिक में आपके आते हैं फोर्टन, पाइथन, मैटलैब, आर और जूलिया। जूलिया सबसे लेटेस्ट है ये साइंटिफिक यूज में, और फोर्टन सबसे पुराना है, राइट, आज भी यूज हो रहा है। उसके बाद आता है जनरल पर्पस। जनरल पर्पस में आपको बता दूं, पाइथन हो गया आपके पास, इवन यू कैन यूज द जावा, इवन गो है, रस्ट है, सी और सी प्लस। ये जनरल पर्पस के लिए बने थे जिसका साइंटिफिक में यूज आप कर सकते हैं, और ये वाले इससे बेटर है। फिर आपके पास वेब डेवलपमेंट में कुछ खास टिपिकली होते हैं, फॉर एग्जांपल एचटीएमएल होगा, सीएसएस है, जावास्क्रिप्ट है, पीएचपी है आपके, और टाइपस्क्रिप्ट है। ऐसे एआई में पाइथन, आर, जूलिया और लिप्स। और डोमेन स्पेसिफिक में आपको मैंने बताया एसक्यूएल, लेटेक्स, वीएचडीएल और सिमुलिंक। लैब सिमुलेशंस के काम आता है, इंजीनियरिंग एप्लीकेशन है सिमुलिंक का। लेटेक्स आपको पता है टेक्स्ट प्रोसेसिंग स्क्रिप्ट है ये। हमारे पास जो मैं कहना ये चाह रहा था कि कंप्यूटिंग लैंग्वेज के वी हैव द 5 डिविजन्स, यू अंडरस्टैंड दैट नाउ? एंड इफ you have the 5 classification, our interest is only lying in the this scientific one. And if you see very carefully this chart, then you can understand Python is for the scientific, Python for the general purpose, Python is for the AI and data. Similar way, you can have the Julia. You have in the scientific also, you have the Julia. So many of the time, like C can be used as a scientific even, right? But I have to specify the first 5, then I have talk about only the Fortran, Python, MATLAB, R, and Julia. So every program may have some special features. Typically, the programs which are, or language programming languages which are for the general purpose can be utilized in more than 2 or 3 category, like Python. So this is all about the classification of a programming language by application domain. Now, you must be interested in the fact that what could be the features on the basis of which I can classify these ones. So let us go towards that. If you require some numerical computation and that language, that programming language can do efficiently, if yes, then it is okay for the scientific numericals category. I will simply say scientific category. So it's okay for that one. General purpose, you may require some of the calculation. So okay, some of it time. Web development does not require any numerical calculation. AI data require that one, and domain specific depends. So for at least for the scientific and AI data science applications, you require a language which should have an efficient numerical computation. The next one is, and this is I think everyone wants, easy syntax. So I need not to say much about that thing. What is about the easy syntax? Then it's a scientific libraries and toolkits. So naturally, for the scientific, you require that one. For AI data, you require that one. For the other three, you may or may not, depending on the, like say, the custom. If you want some customized data for the specific library need, you can have in the domain specific, but other two doesn't require that one. So I hope you get this point also. Now the next point is the visualization and plotting sport. Normally, we require the visualization and the plotting sport maybe or may not be. Visualization is something what you require. So at least for the scientific one and the AI data, you require both things, plotting sport as well as you also want a help from visualization. That these two like I mean to say these two domain of application like scientific and AI data science require that one. But what about the web development? You may require it may be the user interface or user experience. So you require both kind of time you can have the, I mean to say, the visualization and plotting supports. Because what is the user interface? You have to like button for the stop or doing the some simulation. So it's the interface with the programmer as well as the CPU. So user interface may require some kind of visualization. Also, what is UX? Can anyone tell? UX is user experience. So some of the times you are not okay with the speed of the simulation is happening or some programming error or flow error is there. So that is about for the user experience. For these two purposes, you may require the visualization and the plotting supports. So that was the one of the things. Otherwise, rest for the general purpose or domain specific, it's not very necessary. Now we are moving towards the next point. That is the it should be in coherence with the other languages also, because some of the times it does not have many features in yourself. Then you require the help of the other language. For example, Python. Python is an interpreted language. So it may require for the numerical calculation the help from the C, C plus or the Fortran. And it takes via some other route. So it has some, I mean to say, some handshake with the other programs. So this is required for the everything apart from that domain specific. But I would say that even for the domain specific, there should be some, I mean to say, transparency towards the other language also. So you can say at least in the four, it is necessary. Now moving towards the next one is the open source. And this is the one of the important thing that is required to get popularized so that more and more people can use this one. And in this case, you can see all the five should be open sources. I can give you the example of the MATLAB. If you remember that, MATLAB is a not free. And that's why, although very good, very efficient for the scientific purpose, but it is not popular because it need a some, it is not free. I mean to say that you need a license for that one. And that's why the popularity of MATLAB never goes to a level. It always saturated. So, and meanwhile, the say at the same time, if you see the Python, even for the statistical computing, if there is R, so they are free. Even Julia is free. And I tell you that one of the things that Julia is the one of the language which has the advantage of, I mean to say, Python plus MATLAB, and it is free. So free software, open source. If it is then the society can use that one. So that should be. And let's move towards the next. There should be a community and documentation, because whenever you can have the excellence. I can say in that way. If I don't know something, there is someone who can help me there. He can bring the excellence in me. So that is the work of the community. And if community is there, this will happen. आपको नहीं आता है कुछ, किसी को आता है आपको बता देगा, और इससे क्या होगा, आपके एरर डिबग हो जाएंगे. So I think that the community and documentation is the very essential part, especially for the general purpose and scientific one. Although in all the four purposes or applications it is required, and even for the domain specific, I think it should be there. So there is no, I think, argument about that thing. It should not be there. It should be for everyone. Now we are moving toward the most important part, and that is the high performance. That's about the speed and efficiency. And this is something typical for the scientific category programming languages. And only not only this, because it gives you the large programs or very specific application, you want a speed and efficiency. So for the scientific, for the general purpose or AI data, where you have very large program which can run over a month or even a year, you want this high performance mechanism there. This should be a program which can perform on the very high speed and efficiently. Another way of, I think you can say the cousin of this one is that the GPU computing. And what is the benefit of this one? That this offload the work from the CPU, and so give you the another channel to enhance the computing experience. So these two are the, I mean to say, are essential. And that way, if you want a high, or I mean to say very large program, if you have, so these two things will have in that case. So for the scientific purpose and the AI purpose, these two are required. For other purpose, may or may not be. Okay, web development and the domain specific may require, may not require. And the reproducibility and the versioning tools, those they it could have in the everything. Everyone wants reproducibility and version specifications. So I think there is not such thing. Domain specific maybe, but I think there should be also, depending on the all the things are moving fast, then it has to change itself. So version enhancement is always there. There should be some tool for the version enhancement. So these are the features what you have in the language. And if you see properly, then there is scientific category or the AI data science category. They both are have the similar kind of need. But now we are considering all about what you know about that. We are all talking about scientific one. So let's do that one. Let's move towards the scientific one. We all know that for the scientific, you have these kind of all the features you need. Now you will see that whether this kind of feature is with Python. So we require efficient numerical computation for a scientific program. Let us check Python is scientific or not. So Python offers it or not. So NumPy and SciPy is the library attachments which can help in the efficient numerical computation via they use the C or Fortran type of features. So now using the NumPy, it uses the facility of compiler language. Now Python does not only I mean to say interpreted language, which makes it slower. So NumPy is there. Another one is that easy syntax. So everyone know that it has the easy one. The third point was the library. First point was the library. So it has the huge ecosystem for that one. Now you have to have visualization and the plotting spot. You know all about that. That matplotlib is there. Then we are talking about the other language. I say always that the C and Fortran, you can NumPy and the SciPy. They all use this. Python is the one of the things where they use the compiler language facility. So it has some kind of interoperability, and that gives the feature to Python, which is otherwise a slow language. So open source, Python is open source, no problem about that thing. Now, what about the community documentation? There is a suitable, very vast community of Python version. They always upgrade its. So the very massive support it has for the community as well as for the documentation. So next one is that high speed. So otherwise, that was the one point that I was elaborating much. Python is slower because it's an interpreted language. But because of NumPy, which uses the C, Python become efficient in the high performance, right? So this is the one of the things where Python has some bit of a, you can say yes, but through NumPy it covers. Now the GPU, it has the TensorFlow and etc. So you can have the all the things there. So both kind of things are helping for the heavy data load if it is there. And the reproducibility, it has the Jupyter, GIT, all the things are there. You can work for there. So there are too many tools about that. So what we can say from this one? We have talked about the all the 10 features which a scientific language should have. Python, which is a basically a general purpose language, have all the scientific and AI data facilities. So it can be used as a scientific language. So what was my question? Python is a scientific language or not? And I have shown you that Python is a scientific computing language. It has all the 10 features what a scientific computing language should have. I hope you get this point. You have enjoyed this video, you get some information, you have learned a lot about that. I have told you about the lot of the languages. I hope you can understand there is too many things are developing in parallel, and they all are moving with a very faster rate, and one has to catch with the all one. So that's all from my side this time. We will start the soon the Python algos, Python basics. So just to do some necessary things what you can do there. So thanks for learning with Vajas. मिलते हैं फिर से. Thank you.